Thank goodness I've managed to rip myself away from the sofa because I've been just binge watching old seasons of Vanderpump Rules since I got back home, and I only have one day left of vacation. It's been hard. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my March wrap-up. I think I have another day left, but I figured let me just go ahead and knock it out. I'm going to start with the books I'm currently reading though that I know I'm going to finish by the end of this week, but unfortunately I just don't think I'll finish it up quick enough to like have made it into the video since I'm making it now. So we're going to go over those first. So I'm currently reading Our Violent Delights by Chloe Gong and Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. I'm actually pretty far in both of these. I have a feeling I will finish, I'm going to get really close to finishing Our Violent Delights by tonight, and I will finish it up tomorrow. And the same thing with Dead Silence. So far, I'm really enjoying them. Dead Silence is really good so far. It's one of those things where this is about basically a ghost ship in space. This really small crew of 5. It's like their last, they've completed their mission in space, and they should be leaving, but they hear a distress signal. They go to investigate, and they discover that it is this ship that's been missing for 20 years. And no one ever knew what happened to the ship 20 years ago. It just kind of went offline, and no one's known what happened to it. And it's on the far like edge of where you would go in space, right? And just like how, like, if you find treasure, I assume, I don't know, I saw that one time, that like, if you discover it, it becomes yours. I guess you can do whatever you want with it. You can donate it. Kind of same thing goes here, except you need proof that you discovered this. And they realize after a series of, you know, conversations that, you know, the best option is probably just to fly the ship back. But obviously chaos ensues. People are starting to see things. And I will definitely say that when I'm reading this and I picture it in my mind, if this ever becomes a movie, I genuinely hope they do some of these scenes justice, especially the one, for those who have read it, and I hope you agree, when 2 of the people from the ship, when they finally get the lights on and they see what's floating above them in like the atrium, that was fucking frightening to picture. So really cool imagery. I'm thinking that this is going to be like a solid like 4-star read. I already have an idea of what's happening. We have an unreliable narrator in this, so someone else I follow did not rate this very high. So I kind of have an idea of why. Like, I have a theory. Obviously not going to say it. So we'll see if my theory is correct. And then Our Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is the final book in These Violent Delights. Did I say Our Violent Delights again? Okay, Our Violent Ends. I've said it wrong so many times before in previous videos. Okay, so this is the second book in the duology of These Violent Delights, which I think is what the duology is called. That's the first book. So this is the end. It's a little chunkier, obviously, because we've got to pack a lot of stuff in here, and it's good so far. Now, I'm a Juliet fan. I'm a Kathleen fan. I'm not a fan of Roma very much. So I had to stop listening to the audiobook because the narrator made him sound so whispery. Like, listening to this person narrate, I had to turn it up so high because every single time they read his part, it was like so throaty and low, and I couldn't stand it. I don't hear him that way in my head when I'm reading it, but he's still not my favorite, so that didn't make it any better. But so far so good. Definitely interested to see what's going on here. There's so many things happening in this series. It's not just simply that there's a monster on the loose, and from the first book, basically there is this monster on the loose. It's like this huge insect thing that's also, anytime it gets like an insect into you, you go crazy and you start killing yourself, killing other people, so on and so forth. We thought that the first creature was dead in the first book, but it looks like know, maybe who was doing the monster thing was not working alone. But you have so many things going on in here. It's two rival gangs, Juliet and Roma's. Then you also have the nationalists, you have the communists, you have the military, you have the French people and the British people, colonizers. A lot is going on, and there's a riot going on right now. So it's fucking crazy. I have no idea how this is going to end and what the future is going to be for Roma and Juliet in Shanghai, basically. I'm wondering if they'll end up just like, I know Juliet obviously cares about her family in Shanghai, but I feel like it's really important that she has love. So I'm wondering, for as much as she wants to stay and see her home be better, is she probably going to choose love and then just go off? We'll see. But those are the two books I'm reading that I will most likely finish very soon. That just probably didn't end up in this video, obviously, because I didn't finish them. And next are the books I actually finished in March. So I read a total of 20 books in March, and most of it was manga. So I read 16 volumes. I read volumes 8 through 20 of Fire Force, Gangster Volume 1, and Sweat and Soap 4 and 5. So we're going to start with Fire Force. So good so far. So I have made it past what I saw in the anime, and I'm really enjoying the story so far. Basically, if you don't know what Fire Force is, there was this great cataclysm where like the world was on fire, and since then there's this energy source that is like very mysterious, but the world that these people live in, people combust into flame, and the Fire Force exists to put the flame out, and then, you know, you have nuns there working too to like set the soul free. It's all kind of like religious, so on and so forth. Take a shot every time I say that because I know I've said it a few times. The main group wants to find out what is actually happening and why do people combust into flames. Is it a government thing? There's this secret society, the evangelists, or these people that are working for the evangelists, that's trying to make another great cataclysm, and we don't know what's about to happen. But they have to get 8 pillars. So basically, people who have an Adola burst, an Adola link. I'm still very, very confused about what that is. Like, I've put like little tags in there to kind of reference back to it, but I'm still super confused on what an Adola link and burst is, really. I guess it's like some people, after the Great Cataclysm, like there are these generations of people who can manipulate flames. So there's like the first generation of people. I don't remember what their powers are. Second gen, they can work with flame, but they can't create it. Third gen, I think, have their own flames. It's a lot of stuff. And, oh, I lost my train of thought. My bad. All of that to say, it's really good so far. I only have a few more volumes left in this series. I think it's almost over, / it is over. There, I think, has to be like a few more volumes released throughout this year, and then it's going to be over. I did read up a little bit, and from what I saw, it looks like, because this is the same person who created Soul Eater, that somehow these worlds are going to tie together. So I'm wondering if Soul Eater came before or after this, because I got to see like what one of the covers looked like for a chapter, and the Soul Eater's son is in it. So that is interesting. So very excited about that. Then I read Gangsta Volume 1. I have watched this anime and I thought it was really great. When I saw this volume at Barnes & Noble, I was like, I think I might want to read this and start collecting the series. But it's hard to come by. But so far, still good as I remember. Basically, these two guys, Nick and Warwick, they work kind of like, they're considered handymen. So they're kind of working with the police, but then they do their own thing on the side. And he's like a mercenary, Nick. He is considered a Twilight. In the first volume, you kind of hear a little bit about it. Basically, it's like young kids who were experimented on. They have a very short life expectancy, but they have like a lot of powers. And then Warwick is the son of a wealthy family that got wiped out. And you don't, at the very end, you kind of see that there's like a force working to try to like take them down, at least Nick. So not a lot happens in the first volume, but not really. So I definitely want to pick up the next few volumes. I have to see if my friend actually has all of these, because if she does, I want to knock them out. But yes, so far really good. I realize I'm not, you know, I don't read manga, so move on from there. Next, I read volumes 4 and volume 5 of Sweat and Soap. My husband's uncle actually got these for me for my birthday. Still really good, sweet story. They got to meet each other's parents, or at least Natori got to meet Asako's parents. And that was so cute. They're adorable. It's still really sweet. I like the fact that, you know, you're kind of just seeing their everyday life, them together, trying to navigate their relationship. It is very sweet. And I realized like some of the things that frustrate me about her being so insecure about certain things. I realized like some of the things I might not like that she does, I think I'm not liking it because it might have been something that I did. So I might be kind of like, I don't know what the word is, but you know, hating the thing about her that I hate about myself. And it's not hate, but you know what I mean. So I'm trying to give it a more of a, you know, stop being so critical. But like I said, like, you know, she's always blushing. And these are 2 consenting adults having sex, you know, lovingly. But she, oh my God, all the times when she's having sex, it just like, sometimes it drives me crazy because she just looks so flustered. I'm not really a fan of that. But it is what it is. You just have to move through it. And then I just realized I did not write this down. So I actually read 21 books this month. I read the first volume of School Live. This is really cute. I mentioned this before. I saw the first volume at Barnes & Noble. I'd heard about it. It was on like a TikTok. And basically, I did not read the back before I bought it. I just bought it. So I didn't read the back before I started reading it. But now I know. So basically, it's about a bunch of high schoolers. In volume 1, they're mostly girls who are living in this school, in this little kind of bubble that they've created because the outside world of the zombie apocalypse happened. So not a lot happens in this. You just get like the basic, okay, we're meeting the characters. Towards the end, you see what's really going on. They kind of hint at it here and there. But I really liked it. I actually want to continue with the series. I don't know how many volumes are in School Live, but I definitely want to read it. So yeah, I didn't rate it, but I liked it enough that I want to keep reading the series. So there, yeah, it's called the School Living Club. And basically they have to kill zombies sometimes. So really, really nice. Next up, I read 3 cozy mysteries, okay? So the first 2 I want to talk about are by the same author, and it's It Takes Two to Mango and Something's Guava Give by Carrie Doyle. So I requested on NetGalley Something's Guava Give. That's the second book in this series. I didn't realize that at the time. So when I started listening to it on NetGalley as an audiobook, I had a feeling that I was missing something. And for those of you who read cozy mysteries, a lot of the time you can pick it up wherever because they kind of give you, you know, it's a new case every time. It's the same people though. And sometimes they'll give you like a background on what happened in the last book. I just had this feeling though that I was missing something. And I'm talking about, I didn't even finish the whole first chapter. I just had a feeling. So I went on Hoopla and the first book was on there. And I loved it. And I'm actually really glad I went and listened to the first book first. So my first thing to say is I would recommend if you get into this series, read the first book, It Takes Two to Mango. So the protagonist is Plum. And the reason why I feel like you have to read the first book is because she is so annoying. I hated her. I do not believe for a second that the author was trying to make her likable. She's insufferable, if you ask me. I couldn't stand her, okay? But by the end of the book, I was like, okay, I'm gonna root for you though. Basically, it's about this woman named Plum. I don't even remember what her real name is. She just kind of changed her identity. You know, she goes by Plum now. And she was working for a fashion magazine, I think, a publication of some kind. She gets let go. She gets laid off. And she's living in New York City. It's the winter. She's miserable. She can't get anybody to hire her at any other publication or whatever. And somebody who she worked with like one time, but not a lot of people pay any mind to this man who lives in this Caribbean island, some white British guy, has been begging her to do a article on his resort or whatever. He's in real estate down in this Caribbean island, and he has like rental properties that are really nice or exclusive, whatever. And he's like, you should work for me. So she comes on there begrudgingly, really hating it, but she refuses to be a loser. And yeah, she works for this realtor basically. And she is working with someone who's actually really nice and then an asshole. So she has to get people to get this property, but the guy who owns it is like, don't rent to any bachelor parties. And of course she does. And of course someone dies. And for some reason, even though nobody asked her to do this, she's like, let me solve the murder. Just like it always happens. But it was so good. Like I said, Plum, she sucks. Okay, she is, I think, a little racist. You know, she is got a lot of, you know, spewing a lot of microaggressions at these people. By the end, though, I think she has her moments of being like, am I the asshole? I think I'm the asshole. And moving into the second book, it's an even cooler, like, mystery. And I will say this, I did not guess who it was in either of these. We got to the end, and I think in the second book, I did kind of have a feeling like, ooh, that person seems suspicious. But I did not guess who it was. And by the second book, her character has gotten better. And I think as the series goes on, she will become a character that actually is likable. Because basically when she comes down here, excuse me, she's not the only American ever. But the more Americans that she interacts with, she realizes, oh my God, am I like that? Am I really this entitled? Am I really this stuck up? And I like the fact that she's becoming a little bit self-aware. The fact that she just kind of like falls in love with a security guard, I don't like that aspect of it, because it's like, girl, why are you having fantasies of this man? He is just like taking you to your bungalow. And she's like having fantasies. Who am I? Who am I to judge? But yeah, that was really good. I think I rated both of those like 4.5 or 5 stars. Really, really great audiobooks. It had its funny moments. I would recommend. It's free on Hoopla, both of them. Next, I read Murder Lo Mein by Vivian Chen. I'm pretty sure I rated this like 4.5 or 5 stars. Another hit, no miss. I fucking loved it. I'm just like really enjoying Lana. She's just funny to me. So she's still the manager at her parents' at her parents' restaurant. She enters her restaurant in this like yearly contest, a noodle contest, that other noodle shops and restaurants compete in. And basically one of the judges dies, and then some other people die. And Lana, again, technically someone did ask her, but like no one really asked Lana to do it. Like she's really reluctant, but then her friend is like, let's do it. You know, we solved 2 other murders, bitch. Let's keep going. Megan. Anyway, it was really, really fun. I kind of guessed, but she got me with this one. She threw me, because I was so sure I knew who it was. I was wrong. And let me tell you something about Lana. If it is a small area where she is with the murderer, she's going to get caught in it. Okay, she can't help herself getting caught in some tiny room. It makes me laugh. Really, really good. I recommend. Definitely, I have the next book in the series. I will be reading it next month. I think it's like a good, easy book to bring on my trip to Seattle too, along with my Kindle. So I definitely want to read this. I think that cozy mysteries are books that are really good to get you out of a reading slump too. That's just my personal opinion. Read it. And the last book I finished, it's a thriller / mystery, and I got it on NetGalley. So I guess it's considered an art because it hasn't come out yet. And it was Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. So if you watched my vacation blog, you already know my thoughts because I finished it on vacation. 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I loved her last book, which I believe was called Little Secrets. And the one before that, Jar of Hearts, I really liked too. I can't praise her enough. I love her books. My introduction to her was her, I believe her first book, which was Creep. I loved that book. Now, there have been some misses there, like the sequel to Creep. I didn't really like it. There was another one she did. I cannot remember what it's called, but I can picture the cover in my mind. And that wasn't my favorite either. But since then, I've loved all the other books, especially this one. And I will put, like, when this comes up somewhere. But basically, it is a few POVs. We're going back in time to present day. But there is a woman named Paris. Her husband has been murdered, but it's looking like it might be her because she ends up at the scene of the crime. Has she been set up, or did she kill him because he was very rich? We don't know. We have to discover that. But we also find out that there's a little bit more to Plum than you would think. She's very secretive. She doesn't let people like really get to know her. She doesn't talk about her past. And yeah, we get to know a little bit more about her. And then we see a different POV from someone who knew her in her past, which I really liked. Like I said, I rated this 5 stars. I thought it was really, really good. I was so sure of who it was. And I was wrong. I did not see it coming. And I feel like a fool. But I love who it ended up being because it kind of made sense in the end. And then the thing I really like about Jennifer Hillier, for the most part, especially the last 3 books, in my opinion, the main character, I like them. But there's always something about them that you don't know in the beginning, but yeah, you know, they're probably not that good. They made a bad decision somewhere. They kind of twisted the truth. So you think in the end, like, oh, they're innocent, but they did something bad. And I had a feeling I knew what happened here. And I was right. I was fucking right. So that was good. That was cool. It's always nice to be right. But I just love her. I love her books. I loved this one. I definitely recommend it. I think people would really like it. I would love to listen to it on an audiobook because the last book I listened to as an audiobook and it was freaking amazing. So yes, 21 books for the month of March. Oh, look at me. I think the next video I might do may be an accountability video where I show you the stack of books that are not manga, okay, because that would also make it even worse. But the stack of books of all that I haven't finished, even though I feel like I've done a really good job completing fantasy series. I did a video about that. Maybe I'll put that up somewhere. I've done a decent job. But yes, that was my wrap up. Any of these sound good to you? Like I said, there's a lot I recommend. I'm excited to finish the ones that I'm like almost done with. I'm like 50 or 60% of the way through. But let me know in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts. And have you read any of these? I really want to know if anyone's read the Carrie Doyle one, It Takes Two to Mango, because I really like that book. And I really liked Something's Got a Guava Give. So yes, thank you so much for watching the video. If you like the video, please like the video. If you like it, subscribe to me. Hit the notification bell. Talk to me in the comments. I don't know. Follow me on Twitter. Bookstagram. Why not? All that stuff's at the end of the video. And at the bottom of the description bar. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you to everyone who subscribed me. I love y'all. Please have a good day. Goodbye.